ओके तो देखो रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू हो गई है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वेलकम बैक। और एट दिस पॉइंट तो ना वेलकम बैक भी हमें बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि आप तो हमारे रेगुलर गेस्ट बन चुके हैं अंशित कुमार। तो
Yeah,
कैसा है?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. Yeah.
ऑल्सो सो एक बात मेरे को बोलनी है फॉर ऑल द व्यूअर जो आज ये देखेंगे। ये ना आप इसको देख रहे हैं ना अंशित को। दिस गाय ये इसको मैं इसको 7 साल से जानता हूँ। ऑलमोस्ट 7 से भी
That's
ज्यादा।
long. Yeah.
या 7 साल से मैं जानता हूँ। लेकिन इसको आज तक ना पता नहीं लगा कि मेरा बर्थडे कब है। इसने मेरे को बर्थडे पे विश नहीं करा। टुडे इज 25 7 फरवरी। मेरा 25 फरवरी को बर्थडे था और इसने मेरे को विश नहीं करा। तो प्लीज कमेंट में डालना कि इसे अंशित बर्थडे विश कर दो बन्नी को।
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bhuvanyu. Like my birthdays, I'm like bad at birthdays. I was like when I was used to be like active on Facebook, no. So
या
that's what the time I used to remember everyone's birthday because thanks to Facebook. But now I'm not using I'm not active on Facebook like almost 99% of the time. So it's like kind of a dead stick now. So birthday
या
is like a bad thing now. So I'm super sorry and happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's okay, man. It's okay, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Facebook is the one that actually reminded people a lot about
Yeah.
that because people used to already have, earlier they used to have on their calendar. Now, because calendar is also on your phone and Facebook is this, convenience mechanism that you can just wish them happy birthday and you just have to send a button. Like पहले होता था लिखना पड़ता था पूरा. Now उन्होंने वो भी बटन बना दिया कि देखो लिखा हुआ आ जाएगा मैसेज तुम्हें सिर्फ सेंड पे क्लिक करना है.
Yeah, same
And
goes with LinkedIn as well. Yeah, LinkedIn as
yeah,
well. Just go like click on like say happy birthday. That's it.
exactly. Okay, so not to divert from our point, we are going to talk today about
Yeah.
what is going on with the Russia and Ukraine crisis. What is it that we are going to see happening in the future? And because of that, we have also seen that the markets have been beaten down really, really badly. And even though I'm not sure that World War III might happen, I'm not sure. But again, would love to know your views and we can discuss that.
See, first of all, we need to understand why Russia is even taking such extreme measures. So
Yes.
basically, the thing, what happened was like, if you know about NATO, NATO is like North Atlantic Treaty, like complete like North Atlantic group. So they have like USA, like a lot of European countries, Canada, they have a complete group, and in those they're like having it's like a European Union kind of thing.
Okay.
So, say example, let's say Germany is a part of it, UK is a part of it. So let's say UK faces any kind of threat from let's say China. Hypothetical question, hypothetical example, like China. So
Okay.
the USA, the complete NATO will support all the members of NATO. So the UK, USA, Canada, everyone would be supplying military everything to UK to help them out.
Okay.
Okay, as well as as a treaty, like USA is allowed to set up their missiles and their like nuclear silos like submarines closer to UK
Okay.
as well as in the land of UK. In all the NATO countries basically.
Got it.
So after seeing a lot of like spreading of NATO countries like around Russia, so Russia got threatened that Ukraine will also be a part of Ukraine, or Ukraine will also be part of NATO. So they will be placing missiles in Ukraine, and which will be like a very big threat to Russia. That's for sure. So ये था फंडा.
Okay.
So being a threat, yes, obviously Russia को डरने की जरूरत तो होगी ही. Let's say if USA places missiles in Ukraine, then obviously Russia would be like, क्या चल रहा है भाई साहब? What is happening over here?
Yeah.
तो Russia ने सिर्फ simple conditions रखी that Ukraine won't be a part of NATO. That's all we want, and Ukraine will be a independent nation. So that's the only thing that Russia wanted.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what the main concern. Then Ukraine was like, no, because they were like having talks like Ukraine to join the NATO, as well as Ukraine like destroyed a lot of their missiles earlier to being like as a part of like goodwill. So to like overall, when there was like initiation for no nuclear weapons and all, so Ukraine like destroyed and like disposed basically a lot of their missiles as well. So वहाँ पर Ukraine को like basically like they wanted to join NATO as well to like as a like having a like a kind of a backup, like having a nice shield. So Russia kind of got emasculated or let's say got threatened. So Russia was like, तुम part नहीं बनोगे NATO का, and obviously Ukraine and NATO didn't agree. Like USA wasn't like willing to like step down. Like how is this gonna like let it happen? So Russia was like, भाड़ में जाओ तुम, we're gonna attack you till you guys surrender, and we are not gonna let you like be a part of NATO. So this is why Russia is attacking. That's like what their official statement is.
Okay, so I'll be very honest here. I did not know anything about that. I was
Mhm.
speaking to some folks yesterday, and they had said that USA was actually trying to push what you said, was trying to push Ukraine to become a part of NATO. That
Hmm.
I got that. And Russia got threatened by the fact that because Ukraine is literally a neighboring state to Russia,
Hmm.
if they also join, then the power that Russia holds over its neighboring countries is not going to be as massive as it used to be in the past. And because of that, they wanted Ukraine to be an independent state. I'm just summarizing all the points that I actually heard from you. And then the scenario of war took place. Did I do it right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me continue then. So one thing that I understood, and one thing that I had like maybe gotten the wrong info there. I was thinking that maybe this was an oil dispute because Ukraine supplies oil. Ukraine basically exports oil, and it has oil reserves, not as massive as United Arab Emirates, but again, it's an oil-rich economy. And apart from that, उनकी economy में इतना कुछ नहीं है. So I was under the impression. So forgive me.
Yeah,
I did
like
not have a lot of
that does
information.
come like a part of it, because like if you
Okay.
like understand like example like European Union hota hai, as well as NATO has a lot of like trade like concessions. So example, let's say like duty ho gaya, let's say easy to trade, let's say crossing the international borders, like international, let's say every part of the NATO's countries. So it's like easy, as well as like tax concessions are always there. So USA would be getting, possibly USA can be getting like crude oil at a cheaper price from Ukraine after like Ukraine joins the NATO, and as well as then US supplies missiles like to Ukraine, and like send technologies like weapons, not just weapons, let's say any kind of like chip manufacturing units, bhej diya, those kind of things. So those kind of things also come, like it's like a complete trade treaty, not just like a just a weapons. It's like complete trade. So oil would be like a part of it,
Hmm.
but not just like a sole oil won't be the reason.
Okay. Okay. So another thing I also want to share is that I had yesterday itself only, I had seen a video which 3 days back just got viral, had got about 6.2 million views, wherein Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, was asking his secretary to speak plainly. That's what the thumbnail and the description of the video said. And in that, he was actually asking his general secretary or maybe state secretary to be very plain with your words, to not bullshit him and say what you really want to say. And in that video, the state secretary ended up saying that, I'm not sure, but I do not want Ukraine to become part of NATO. I want it to be an independent. And he took two names of two people. I don't know who they were. I don't remember that as well. I want it to be an independent state, more or less. So I'm actually like I'm beginning to connect the dots here because I'm not too aware with the political scenario. I was only looking at it from a financial
Mhm.
structure. So again, thank you for informing me. I'm actually getting a lot of info here. Thanks.
See, it's like basically, let's say, hypothetical standard. Let's say Kashmir wasn't a part of India. Then
Okay.
Pakistan tries to take over Kashmir, and India is
Okay.
like, no, we're gonna attack Kashmir till the point Pakistan leaves from there, and we're gonna let Kashmir be an independent country, independent state, whatever it is.
Okay.
To take it similar to that. Let's say Nepal hai. Nepal is like independent. So let's say China starts to like take over Nepal. Then India attacks Nepal, saying Nepal, we want Nepal to be an independent country. We don't want Nepal to be like a part of China. Like something
Okay.
similar to that.
Okay. ठीक है. I got that. ठीक है. तो अब हमने एक बैकग्राउंड सेट कर दिया है, हमें पूरा प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री पता लग गई, तो अब हमारे पास एक बेस है टू एक्चुअली उसके आगे बात करने का. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the ramifications that can actually take place with this, all of this that is happening, because World War III would be at the worst scenario. But one thing we need to consider is that Russia is a nuclear state, Ukraine is not. Ukraine
Mhm.
has nuclear power plants and all these things, but they do not have any sort of nuclear weaponry. So if they actually go to war on that scale, because the war has already begun, we know that there is gunfire going on, there are fighter jets coming in, and so what is going to happen
See,
on a
yeah.
global scale?
See, Russia is not like playing like a very like a massive like a complete war scenario. They are like sending their forces in pulses. Example, they like attack like today, then say tomorrow they are like, are you willing to negotiate? If they say no, then they are like, the attack gets like a more escalated one. Let's say it was like, let's say 100, then it was like 110%, then it's like 120% on like almost every alternate day. You can see like, and they're not attacking like small towns and small like places. They're not like destroying their complete, let's say, power supply grid. They're not destroying Chernobyl. They're not like attacking their dams and everything, because they want them to be like sustainable. Like even after this, all of this thing ends. All they're like attacking are they like the main like one city they are like attacking is the capital. Yeah, that's the one city they have been attacking, not like the small towns. Obviously, example, if the country attacks Delhi, the NCR does get a bit of like attacked anyway. And the example, Noida, Gurgaon. Similarly, the neighboring towns are like getting disrupted, but it is not like all the cities are being attacked. It's like only the major. It's like example, let's say Mumbai. It would be like Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, like all the like metropolitan cities. So places, small towns like example, Panipat, Karnal, like those kind of things, Jaipur and all, possibly won't be attacked. And obviously the military bases and airfields are obviously being destroyed to like try to like avoid as much as possible. So that is also there.
अच्छा, ठीक है, बात सही है कि जो है तुम बेसिकली उनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं करना चाहते, क्योंकि अगर उनकी इकोनॉमी डिस्ट्रॉय हो गई तो इवन तो तुमने अगर वो टेरिटरी एक्वायर कर ली, तुमने बोला कि चलो तुम उसका पार्ट बन जाओगे, वो तुम्हारे लिए यूजलेस है क्योंकि वो प्रॉपर्टी बेकार हो गई एसेंशियली, है ना? ठीक है। तो लेकिन पता है इसमें जो एक चीज बात है मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रही है, आई रियली वांट योर पर्सपेक्टिव हियर, कि डज इट मेक सेंस कि तुम बोल रहे हो कि हम तुम्हें इंडिपेंडेंट रखना चाहते हैं और तुम अपनी फ्री विल पे किसी चीज को ज्वाइन करना चाह रहे हो, तो हम तुम्हारे को अटैक करेंगे ताकि, क्योंकि इस चीज का मेरे को बिल्कुल भी आई एम नॉट एबल टू मेक सेंस ऑफ दिस थिंग कि हम तुम्हारे को अटैक करें तुम्हारे को इंडिपेंडेंट बनाने के लिए. व्हाट डज इट मेक सेंस?
एग्जांपल समझते हैं, लेट्स से पाकिस्तान है,
या
अब लेट्स से चाइना करता है पाकिस्तान में अपनी न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल उठा कर रख देता है सारी की सारी.
ओके,
दैट बी थ्रेट फॉर इंडिया? ऑब्वियसली इसमें कोई सोचने की कोशिश नहीं कि हाँ इंडिया के लिए थ्रेट है वो, क्योंकि रशिया यूक्रेन की बनती नहीं है. सिमिलरली इंडिया पाकिस्तान की भी नहीं बनती,
राइट,
एंड इंडिया चाइना की भी नहीं बनती. तो सिमिलरली रशिया यूक्रेन की भी नहीं बनती, एंड रशिया की एंड अदर नेबरिंग जो कंट्रीज है उनके साथ भी नहीं बनती. So similarly, if like other countries are supporting him, so it will be like an imminent threat for Russia anyway. Let's say China, let's say India, Sri Lanka are not on like a very good terms, neither they are like on a bad terms. China अपने nuclear missiles Sri Lanka में रख देगा. Should India be a bit threatened? 100% India would be threatened anyway.
अच्छा,
तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव से देखा जाए तो it does make sense कि हाँ, मतलब I'm not saying कि like Russia is like very doing it like I'm not क्यों कर रहा है, पागल है रशिया वगैरह वगैरह. रशिया का रीजन अपनी जगह पे ठीक है, दे लाइक ट्राइंग टू प्रोटेक्ट देमसेल्फ, एंड ऑब्वियसली यूक्रेन नाउ फर्स्ट उसमें यूक्रेन गया है. यस, ईदर वे it is not getting help from NATO because it wasn't a part of NATO. Although the countries are supplying him now, they have like started supplying him with tanks and money as well. But still, because आज ही I got a news that Germany sent like 1,000 tanks to Ukraine for help.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Second, hold on a second. Pause कर देख सकते हैं वीडियो.
Where were we?
We were like basically discussing like how like Ukraine अपनी जगह पे ठीक है और Ukraine basically पिस रहा है. It's like it's not getting any support from NATO as well as it is not getting support from the neighboring countries that much. But countries are stepping up now, trying to help the country out. Plus, a lot of other people like Elon Musk has like stepped up
to actually like, provide Starlink internet to Ukraine. I heard that. I read that news. Also, because हमने Bitcoin के बारे में इतनी बात करी है, now इस पे बहुत ज़्यादा applicable होता है, क्योंकि because the economy of Ukraine is going to go down.
Not Ukraine, like even the Russia's stock market has fallen like around 50% now. So that's like a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm actually getting to here is that they legalized Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT as all the legal tender because उनका जो original use case था, as I had said, to actually make an individual sovereign in nature, तुम अब उसको use करके किसी और country में transact कर सकते हो, so that तुम्हारी जो जमा पूंजी थी, basically जमा पूंजी थी सारी जिंदगी की, वो destroy ना हो, तुम्हारे बच्चे जो हैं फल फूल जाए और तुम्हारी जो जिंदगी बर्बाद होने वाली है. क्योंकि from what I had heard was that men between the ages of 18 to 60 are not allowed to leave the country. They have been given weapons and they've been asked to fight for the country. What do I think of that? I think that is incredibly stupid because these are not trained men. These are not trained. ठीक है, गन देके तुम एक दूसरे को गोली मार दोगे, तुम्हें नहीं पता कि जो है ना क्या होता है, क्योंकि आर्मी की ट्रेनिंग इज समथिंग which has to be taken very seriously, right? And they are just sitting ducks. तो तुमने बेसिकली एक पॉन बिठा दिए, जैसे चेस होती है ना, तुमने चेस के जो है पॉन बिठा दिए, बट यू डोंट नो कि कौन कब सैक्रिफाइस होने वाला, बिकॉज उसके अंदर जो ट्रेन्ड सोल्जर्स है ना, यू आर ओनली प्रोवाइडिंग देम कवर और ए बबल शेल्टर फॉर दीज फोक्स. But again, it's their country, it's their choice. मैं सिर्फ अपना
we have to it's simplified. Like, do they even have an option? Like,
yeah, ये भी है, बिल्कुल.
But yeah, I read a post on LinkedIn in the morning. They were like,
okay,
it was like it was like one like किसी ने like किया, then किसी ने like किया, then किसी ने like किया, like उस type का था. The person was like, we are like Magento software developers. Now we're like having a rifle and like in the front line right now. So it was like a post from that kind of person. So it was like software developer है. Now he's holding a gun and he's like going on a front line कि हाँ मैं वहाँ से करूँगा. So do they even have an option? Obviously no, क्योंकि उन्हें करना ही, like they have to do it anyway.
हाँ, मतलब अब सर्वाइवल का सवाल है, क्योंकि
it's not because like the government wants them to do. It's like because they weren't like born and raised in a country that was under Soviet Union. They were like born and raised in a independent country, so that's why they're like they have the mindset of being and living in an independent country. So they will anyhow defend it, like whatever comes it down to.
ये बात बिल्कुल
obviously like जही बात जो ट्रेनिंग की बात है, obviously you cannot compare a normal software developer जो ले 2 किलोमीटर भी नहीं भाग सकता.
नहीं, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर की भी बात नहीं है ना. इट्स बस आम आदमी और एक आम आदमी और एक ट्रेन्ड सोल्जर who has been trained.
Like, let's say you cannot compare any corporate person to like who cannot even run like 2 kilometers to like a military person who has been training for like 15 years, like दिन में सुबह 4 बजे उठ के like 10-20 किलोमीटर भागना, etc. training. Obviously you cannot compare.
Exactly.
It is what it is. Although if you have seen like उनके social media पे what government did was like पेट्रोल बम कैसे बनाते हैं, उनके social media पेट्रोल बम्स की proper होते हैं ना, जो होते हैं जिसमें पेट्रोल डाल के ऊपर like कपड़ा से निकाल के you can burn it and फेंक को बम फट जाता है.
Molotov cocktail.
हाँ exactly. So उसकी basically proper कैसे बनाना है, उसका proper procedure उनके social media पे है, उनके ad चल रही है. So every like single person can make it easily, क्योंकि पेट्रोल easily available है वहाँ पे. So they like easily बनाओ, जो भी आपको मिलता है करो, एज सिटीजन को रोको उन्हें. एंड इफ यू वांट गन्स वी विल सप्लाई यू विद गन्स, इफ यू वांट एनीथिंग वी विल हेल्प यू आउट. सो और जब तुम उस पे देखो like आफ्टर like फ्रॉम देयर मेन सिटीज के बाहर आसपास देखोगे like the roads, what people are doing is they like doing the trenches. They are like making a lot of trenches. They are like they're cutting logs, like big logs, like and putting in the roads to try to like at least slow down the tanks and the military that is going to come in. To what kind of extent it is going to help, that's like questionable, but they are like citizens are doing the best they can.
Yeah, that's true. ठीक है.
So ठीक है, इसलिए ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी में तो बहुत डिफरेंस पड़ेगा. एंड रही बात जो क्रिप्टो एंड ऑल की, या इट विल कम इनटू रोल, होपिंग रशिया इज होल्डिंग अ लॉट ऑफ क्रिप्टो because crypto's value obviously won't deteriorate that much as their economy has. The ruble has fallen to like a lot of like, I think it has fallen like around 35% to 40% of the value.
Okay.
Like RUB basically their economies are
rubles. Yeah, interesting. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे ना हमने अब बात कर ली, let's actually connect it from a story perspective. We actually took the background, हमने पूरा background set करा, पूरी history थी. Then we actually added on top of that, we actually created a layer of how it's going to now act out the present. And let's actually get into the future part so that it makes sense for everyone who will be watching this video. तो अब हमें देखना है कि will the US or China or other economies, because there was a funny news that I actually read, and I don't know if it's funny at this point in time, but the fact is Taliban is asking Russia and Ukraine to solve their issues peacefully. Taliban.
Yeah, I agree. It's like irony, like what they are like asking you to do.
Exactly.
Because it's like they read completely like something like what Russia is doing, like trying to like take over the complete country.
Exactly. Now, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's a very sad situation. We should not be laughing, to be very honest. It's fucked up, really badly fucked up. But I think, and this has actually happened in the past, because so you remember about the US and Vietnam War, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, Vietnam was doing nothing wrong. That's the truth. Vietnam had said that we are not going to obey the US, and US at that point in time had become superpower because USSR was disbanded at that point in time.
Yeah.
ये उस टाइम की बात है. And they had come और उन्होंने पूरा करा. Vietnam was a very small nation. आज भी जो है, it is one of the third world poor nations है. उसमें उन्होंने they gave a massive fight back. उन्होंने पूरा अपना जोर लगाया, और जो है ना, the people that came back from Vietnam, they were traumatized for life. ऐसा सीन हुआ था. So I think a similar kind of scenario is going to play out with the Ukrainians when they are going to rebel. Even though there is 99% chance that Ukraine is going to fall if no external support is given. We know that. जैसा scenario दिख रहा है अभी तक, है ना? Based on the data and facts. तो वहां पे ना, we need to also make sure कि Russia will remember this for years, and because we live in an age of internet, the world will remember what Russia is doing right now. What do you think?
See, obviously, like the long time effects are going to be like fatal for it, not just for Ukraine. Ukraine is going to like, obviously it's going to take years and years to, like, example, let's say a city gets completely destroyed, like due to bombing.
Yeah.
It doesn't take like a week, it doesn't take a year. It takes like at least 2 to 3 decades to come back, like to that level, and having all the infrastructure in place, and like having all the people who have fled from the country and city to come back.
Yes.
Like 95% of the people aren't going to come back. Like majority of the people who like goes to, like, example, they go to US, they won't be like हम क्यों जाएं वापस भाई साहब, वहां पे कभी भी ऐसा हो सकता है. Because then like post this, it kind of Ukraine would be like a part of Russia itself. Like unofficially it will be like a part of Russia.
Yes.
So it's like on their mercy at any time. So, and obviously for Russia as well, the long term effects are going to be like very big because like already like US and like other countries have like declined to have any kind of sanctions and all the kind of trades. Like let's take an example, like basic example of F1 race. Like all the F1 racers have declined that this year they won't be racing in Russia. So the F1 race in Russia has been cancelled and it has been rescheduled to Turkey.
Okay.
So as simple as that. Even if you have seen any video, like there was a Russian ambassador in Ireland. He was going to embassy. He was like stopped by the crowd and he was like completely booed and everything. कि क्या चल रहा है?
Okay.
Even other countries. So obviously the repercussions are going to be like more than just in a country. It's going to be like a ripple effect, and
exactly,
it's going to like take over to other countries as well as other domains. Like, will India going to be like trying to like stop buying from Russia, like all the weapons from Russia? Possible, because India is like going for like a make in India anyway.
Yes.
So अभी तो purchase कर रहा है, अभी already purchase orders placed होंगे. But let's say in 15 years time, 10 years time, are they like gonna try to like थोड़ा कम कर दें? Obviously ऐसा होगा. और वरना इंडिया यूएसए इंडिया को बोलेगा हमारे से ले लो, हम विल गिव यू लाइक अ बेटर प्राइस, रशिया से मत लो, लाइक वी आर गोना लाइक वो होता है ना, बुली को थोड़ा अलग कर देते हैं, सिक्यूट कर देते हैं, वो वाला सीन. दे विल ट्राई टू डू इट, बट रशिया विल बी ऑलवेज सपोर्टेड बाय चाइना एनी गिवन डे. रशिया विल ऑलवेज हैव लाइक अ चाइना इन देयर कॉर्नर बिकॉज लाइक चाइना को पता है यूएसए थ्रेट है, रशिया को पता है यूएसए थ्रेट है, एंड वो होता है दुश्मन का दुश्मन हमारा दोस्त होता है.
Nice. Yeah.
So Russia and China will always want to be like together, and similarly goes with Pakistan as well. All the three are like decently well-powered nuclear countries. So if it comes to world war, I don't think they will like ऐसे मजाक में शुरू तो कभी भी नहीं होती.
नहीं.
But they three, and I think there are few more countries that will support Russia as well.
Okay.
Like basically all the anti-US countries would be supporting Russia in any given day. Yeah,
US by itself as an economy is a falling economy. उनके जो क्योंकि what made US ना, that is going away. क्योंकि उनकी the power of free will, they have actually overused that, and excess of anything is bad. हम सबको ये जानते हैं. तो वहां पे उनकी इकोनॉमी में उनके जो टॉप इंजीनियर्स थे, they are actually leaving the country. Silicon Valley is no longer Silicon Valley. Talent is coming from globally. But what US has advantage in, जो मेरे को समझ में आता है, वो ये है कि they have the big tech. They have Amazon, they have Google, they have Meta, they have Microsoft. these companies combined have more power than US economy itself. ठीक है?
Obviously they have like yeah. See, वही तो बात हुई थी.
और ये इनको ना ये रशिया को
data
ब्लैकआउट
game,
कर
हाँ.
सकते हैं. ये एसेंशियली रशिया को ब्लैकआउट कर सकते हैं. तुम्हारा इंटरनेट बंद, तुम्हारी एबिलिटी खत्म और तुम्हारी इकोनॉमी को बिल्कुल जीरो पे लाने की
100%.
जो बात होती है ना, उस ये वो कर सकते हैं.
और साथ में सी हमें वो भी देखना पड़ेगा कि लेट्स से अभी रिसेंटली न्यूज भी आई थी जिसमें यूक्रेनियन हैकर्स वर लाइक, ये सोर्स कोड है, ये ईमेल से किसी भी रशियन बंदे को भेज दो जो रशिया में है, दिस लाइक क्रैश द कंप्यूटर एंड लेयर उनके सर्वर पे अगर अपलोड हो जाता है तो दे विल क्रैश द सिस्टम सर्वर एज वेल.
ओके.
सो दे वर लाइक लीकिंग दोस काइंड ऑफ फाइल्स, दे वर लाइक सोर्स कोड. लाइक तुम करो जो भी मतलब पॉसिबल है तुम करो, लाइक नॉट जस्ट लाइक हाँ, नॉट जस्ट लाइक अ कंप्लीट वेपन थिंग, तुम कुछ भी करके रशिया को तंग करो. This is not only like a short term as well. If let's say even Ukraine gets like completely like suppressed by Russia as well,
Russia, yeah.
the people will be like Ukrainian people के अंदर जो बैठ जाएगा ना कि हाँ we are like rebellious people हैं जो.
Exactly, there will be an insurgency. अगर तुमने हरा भी दिया ना, एक insurgency आ जाएगी that will rebel for years to come. 10 साल 15 साल, we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. और वो ये कि like वो चलते ही रहेगी. You cannot stop it. At least for a couple of generations, it will sustain over there.
3 to 4 generations, क्योंकि हर war का impact at least 3 to 4 generations तक रहा है throughout history that we have seen.
Yeah, so we can at least for a couple of generations for sure it will be there.
Okay.
So maybe like things do change like with time, but overall Russia को फायदा क्या होगा सब करके? That's like still questionable. Like हाँ, they're like, see इसमें रशिया का सिंपल पॉइंट है कि like हम हमारे सामने हम बुली नहीं होंगे. रशिया इज लाइक उनका सिंपल फंड है कि like हम डरते वरते हैं नहीं किसी से. वी आर लाइक भाड़ में जाओ सब, हम तो अपने हिसाब से करेंगे.
व्लादिमीर पुतिन इज अ क्रेजी.
हाँ, अभी रिसेंटली वही तो हाँ, आई वाज आल्सो रीडिंग लाइक मॉर्निंग में लाइक पुतिन इज राइट नाउ 69 की एज पे है एंड देयर इज पॉसिबल ही हैज सम डिजीजेस लाइक पार्किंसन हो गया, लाइक ब्रेन डिजीज भी हो सकती है. दैट इज व्हाई ही इज एक्टिंग इन सच काइंड ऑफ मैनर कि लाइक क्या चल रहा है भाई, इतना एग्रेसिवली तभी एक्ट कर रहा है वो.
और यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड ना, ही हैज बीन अ डिक्टेटर फॉर इयर्स. मतलब कितने साल हो गए, आई डोंट इवन रिमेंबर एट दिस पॉइंट, जब वो अपॉइंट हुआ था एज द लीडर एंड ही हैज बिकम अ डिक्टेटर ऑफ दैट इकोनॉमी एंड ही वाज एन एक्स सोल्जर. सो ही, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वो बंदा डिसिप्लिन कितना है एंड ऑल दीस थिंग्स. सो इन दैट वीडियो व्हिच आई स्पोक अबाउट, wherein he was talking to his general secretary or state secretary, he was looking really unwell, even though he may have the same command over the ability and same authority. He was looking really unwell, he was looking really obese. Obese is the word that I would use. बिल्कुल गुब्बारा.
हाँ, mainly like unfit है because like obviously 70-year-old person is not like, see basically retirement age 65 इसलिए होती है because after like age of like 65 the person's thinking capacity and like the kind
the
of
whole body
creativity does like start to decline anyway.
Exactly.
India में पता नहीं क्यों 65 के ऊपर सारे ministers होते हैं, that doesn't make any sense to me, but after retirement 65 है तो all ministers should be retired by 65 as well any given day.
Yes, I agree 100%.
हाँ, तो that's like a completely different topic, but हाँ, तो after like that age like obviously thinking capacity like thinking analytically हो गया, advisors की सुननी होगी, क्योंकि होता है ना like after एक age आप दोबारा से बच्चे बनने लग जाते हो, वो होता है ना. तो आई थिंक जिद्दी बंदा हो जाता है एंड इट इज पॉसिबल कि उसने सारा ये जिद्दी होकर ही किया हो.
लाइक
क्या चल रहा है साहब, तो लाइक ईगो पे आ गई मेरे, तो मैं करूंगा ही करूंगा. जैसे बच्चे होते हैं, मेरे को चिप्स का पैकेट लेना है तो लेना है, चाहे मैं रोके लूं जैसे मर्जी लूं. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग डज हैपन. सो दैट्स अ पॉसिबल कि लाइक हाँ, हिज ब्रेन is not working as efficiently it should be, and that's why he's like doing all these actions. So that's like a major possibility as well.
Right. Interesting. But
after like after the fall of, let's say he dies, or let's say the fall of Putin, so it will be like a different scenario for sure. But obviously then his generation or someone similar to his like
mindset
thinking would take over.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, even I'm really curious. So we have spoken almost like कितनी देर हो गई हमें बोलते हुए? Almost, we have been speaking for almost 40 minutes. Let's try and find a conclusion here. And the one thing that I'm really scared of, and I'll be very honest here, is the fact that a stronger nation is strong arming a smaller nation to actually join them, or whatever, they are taking away their freedom more or less. ऐसा हो रहा है. What will happen is, हाँ. तो सबसे जो वर्स्ट के सिनेरियो होगा ना, अगर इसका कोई रेपरकशन रशिया पे लॉन्ग टर्म नहीं दिखा किसी को, व्हाट आई एम स्केर्ड ऑफ द मोस्ट is that China will do the same with Taiwan. क्योंकि चाइना कंसिडर्स ताइवान टू बी पार्ट ऑफ इट्स टेरिटरी, बट वी नो दैट इट इज नॉट. चाइना
See, 100%.
and
Yeah,
Taiwan
like
are different.
see the kind of China already like considers that it is a part of our country. They're not like
Exactly.
they're like considering it anyway.
Yeah.
Like Hong Kong and all, they're like भाड़ में जो तुम्हारी थिंकिंग तुम्हारे अंडर ही हो, तुम्हें जो लगता है करो,
Yeah.
तुम्हारे अंडर ही हो.
हांगकांग तो चलो ठीक है, मान लेते हैं, हांगकांग तो आया भी है, हांगकांग आया.
हाँ.
But when it comes to Taiwan, it's a separate economy. And you know, Suicide Squad का क्या सीन हुआ था with John Cena and all? बताऊं?
नहीं, I'm not aware of it. Yeah.
Okay. So what he said was during the promotions of Suicide Squad by John Cena कर रहा था, he said कि it will be the movie Suicide Squad will be first screened in the country of Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, ये हो गया. Now China is such a massive media consuming country.
Is it John
1.
Cena? John Cena कर
John
रहा था,
Cena.
Will Smith कर रहा था.
John Cena, the second
जो wrestler
Suicide
है.
Squad. Yes,
John Cena उस मूवी में था भी.
the second Suicide Squad.
अच्छा,
Squad.
सेकंड. अच्छा मैंने सेकंड देखा नहीं. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So what he said that in the country of Taiwan, the movie Suicide Squad would be screened first. ठीक है. उसके बाद इतना गंदा बैकलैश आया क्योंकि 1.3 बिलियन की पॉपुलेशन को इंप्रेस करना है, उन्हें खुश रखना है ना. वहां से he had to make a video speaking in Chinese, मैंड्रिन बोलते हुए, saying sorry, मैंने जो बोला मैं बहुत थका हुआ था, मतलब मैं बेसिक इंटरप्रिटेशन कर रहा हूं, एंड कि मुझे माफ कर दो, मेरा ऐसा कोई मतलब नहीं था, ताकि तुम वो चाइना का जो उन्हें रेवेन्यू आए ऐसे. सो हाउ दे आर एक्चुअली बुलिंग the world. So this is why, like, you know, I do not have a particular liking towards China, the kind of attitude that they have because of this thing. Yeah, you were speaking.
Yeah, this is like obviously like China का like रहेगा ही हमेशा, like Taiwan के ऊपर upper hand रहेगा ही रहेगा.
Yeah.
Because as well as I don't think China will attack like in such terms, like.
But in some or the other way, because if they realize that, you know, अगर रशिया कर सकता है तो हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते? Things
See,
like
obviously,
that.
yeah, it will come into play for sure, because let's say अभी तो they are happy, like हाँ जैसे भी चल रहा है ठीक है, they are like
Yeah.
okay, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
Right.
But let's say does if USA like हम ताइवान में अपने चाइना से let's say अपना चिप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट हटा के we want to set up in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a $100 billion deal जो US फर्क आएगा, $100 billion का फर्क आएगा चाइना को, and $100 billion का फायदा होगा ताइवान को. Then obviously that kind of scenario will affect China. तब China will come into play. Else they will like क्या फर्क पड़ता है, जिसको जो करना है करो, ताइवान तो अपना ही मानते हैं.
हाँ, वो तो है.
But at the same time उनको China will be like चलो ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, ताइवान में भी कर लो, एक ही बात है. But then issue आएगा, let's say same things they try to do with India. Let's say $100 billion का चाइना से उठा के सेट अप चिप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट इंडिया में सेटअप करता है कोई. Then obviously then चाइना को ज्यादा फर्क पड़ेगा than ताइवान, क्योंकि ताइवान को तो अपना मान चुका है वो. जैसे काइंड ऑफ भूटान होते थे, इंडिया के पार्ट ही होते थे एट अ टाइम. सो इसको दिक्कत नहीं है इतनी. नेपाल भी इंडिया बहुत टाइम तक नेपाल को भी अपना पार्ट ही मानता रहा है. लाइक क्योंकि लाइक neither you need like a passport, neither you need a passport, you won't need a visa.
You don't need it's a walking visa. You can just walk in.
And I think Indian currency भी वहाँ पे लोग easily accept कर लेते हैं. As well as Nepal is like accepting that UPI payment as well now. Like they are like starting to like accept it.
Yeah.
So ठीक है, देख it is like kind of part of India itself. So similar thing, Taiwan is like जैसे धीरे धीरे तिब्बत वाला पार्ट भी उनके अंडर आ गया था चाइना के अंडर, सिमिलरली ताइवान भी.
And they did a lot of strong arming in that scenario. Like उसमें भी जो है बहुत ज्यादा bullying करी थी they did that.
See, China is super strong country. China को like मजाक में कोई भी नहीं ले सकता. And
they are number one global economy. They are the number one global economy.
Absolutely.
तो तुम्हें पता है
जब let's say अगर war होती है, let's say USA versus China की war होती है, I would actually say कि China, there's a big possibility China जीत जाएगा.
Seriously?
क्या चाइना देखो, US is like US are like very open कि like, और US के अंदर जो लोग हैं, let's say billionaires हो गए, they are like they have their voice कि हाँ हम support नहीं कर रहे इनको. They are like internal rebel भी होगी एक USA के अंदर, चाइना के अंदर नहीं होती. They are like ये होगा तो होगा. और USA ने let's say एक न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल बनाई, तो they are like wow हमने बना दी, देखो सब देखो. चाइना में नहीं होता भाई साहब, चाइना ने बना के हमने रख लिया है. चाइना ने ऐसे कितने सारे let's say
it's a hidden economy, that's for sure. हमें पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है.
ये समझो लेट्स से चाइना के पास सारी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं. चाइना लेट्स से जब वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 हुई थी, फोर्ड ने सारी अपनी फैक्ट्रीज को प्लेन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए बना दिया था. चाइना वो एक सेकंड में चिप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वर्ल्ड ही कट ऑफ करके अपनी बना सकता है ना कुछ भी. लाइक दैट सिंपल, इट्स लाइक सुपर सिंपल फॉर देम. लाइक वो कोविड में एक दिन में अगर हॉस्पिटल बना सकते हैं तो मिसाइल्स तो इजीली बना ही सकते हैं, पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी है उनके पास. सो इट्स लाइक नॉट लाइक आई वुड से चाइना इज लाइक अ सुपर पावर एनीवे, जिसको लाइक इजी मजाक में कोई भी नहीं ले सकता, नॉट इवन यूएसए.
यस,
तो उनसे तो मजा नहीं लिया जाएगा. देख रही बात ताइवान को टेक ओवर करने की, देन चाइना कैन डू इट. अब उनके ऊपर है, वो मेनली आई थिंक उसलिए रुका होगा कि इफ चाइना अटैक्स ऑन ताइवान देन उनकी इकोनॉमी स्लो डाउन कर जाएगी ऑब्वियसली.
चाइना की,
हाँ,
ताइवान की
नहीं चाइना की भी करेंगे ना. लेट्स से दे ट्राई टू टेक ओवर,
हाँ,
सारे स्टॉक्स फॉल करेंगे, सब कुछ करेगा. सो फिर देन दे लूज दैट ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी स्टेटस वाला, फिर यूएस से दोबारा आगे निकल जाएगा, क्योंकि लाइक 5-6 इयर्स तो बंदा पीछे होगा ही होगा.
ट्रू. हाँ, ये मैं एग्री करता हूँ.
करता है बंदा.
ट्रू, इंटरेस्टिंग. ठीक है, यू नो. सो एनी कंक्लूडिंग पॉइंट्स? आई थिंक मैंने जितना बोलना था, फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैड नोन, आई हैड अंडरस्टूड, आई हैव स्पोकन. I want to know your thoughts, and then we can conclude this conversation.
I think in conclusion, we can say like overall like long-term effects of Russia-Ukraine war or India is also going to be like adverse. Like obviously petrol के rate 150 रुपए होने वाले हैं. Get ready for it. Like in a week or two, it will reach 150 for sure. Because see, $100 barrel तो वैसे ही हो गया जो $37 barrel था. That's already 3 times. So India economy में 1 trillion का तो effect आ ही रहा है.
Exactly.
स्टेट में $1 trillion का तो इफेक्ट आ ही रहा है. सो सिमिलरली लाइक इंडिया में भी बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट होगा, क्योंकि लाइक इंडिया दोनों कंट्रीज का सप्लाई करता था, एज इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट था, यूक्रेन एज वेल एज रशिया. सो ओवरऑल इंडियन इकोनॉमी में भी इट्स लाइक अ वेरी एडवर्स इफेक्ट. ओके, सो लेट्स सी. एंड लाइक ओवरऑल वर्ल्ड ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी में भी डिफरेंस तो पड़ ही रहा है.
Yeah, we are seeing that. Stock market देख लो यार.
Stock market is falling. It is like fluctuating like crazy, as well as the crypto market is like, crypto की तो बात ही कर भूल जाओ, completely red है like कब से. आजकल I think it is going back up. It's showing like 10% up in 24 hours.
नहीं, अब फिर से almost जनवरी वाला टाइम आ गया. जैसे जनवरी में था उसके almost 10% उससे अप है, बट जब वो लोएस्ट पे गया था 28 लाख बिटकॉइन गया था एंड 1.9 लाख इथेरियम गया था, it has gone almost 10% उससे ऊपर ही गया. 10%
उसको like it's like ऐसे like every day it's like every day is like
we are seeing the sine curve more or less. और sine curve भी नहीं कौन सा वाला कर्व होता था यार, याद है जो zigzag वाला होता था? Do you remember?
they like ग्राफ पे बन जाता है. let's say anyway जो भी है जो भी होता है,
right,
but let's say it's like zigzag curve बना हुआ है. it's like going up and down like crazy. like one day it's like negative 20%, next day it's like up 10%. so मजाक बना हुआ है.
right, interesting. so you know, I hope जो भी आप लोगों ने सुनी ये कॉन्वर्सेशन, अगर आपने पूरी कॉन्वर्सेशन सुनी तो लाइक करो. अंचित का चैनल है वैल्यूथॉन, मेरा चैनल है भुवन्यू शर्मा. लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो, शेयर कर दो अगर अच्छा लगता है. यू नो, इफ यू वांट डीप कन्वर्सेशंस, जो है ना बातों को जो है ना सिर्फ ब्रॉड लेवल पे कन्वर्स नहीं करती, नैरो टॉपिक्स में घुसते हैं, और जहाँ पे डीप कन्वर्सेशन अगर आपको मिलती है, इफ यू वांट, तो प्लीज गो एंड वॉच आवर चैनल. विल सी यू फॉर द नेक्स्ट टाइम. बाय बाय.